just start by a bit of grounding. So think about your neutral alignment. Feet hip width apart. Spreading your toes. So think about how the foot is planted into the ground. So we're thinking big toe, small toe, heel. So use that and then equally distribute your weight so you're nice and still and in a real strong power position. Knees are just off lock. Think about spiraling from the arches of your feet around, and sort of as you lift, your thighs will engage and you'll feel this bracing around your hips, drawing in your center. So you're really starting to think about engaging that diaphragm. As you breathe, it's through the nose to expand the rib cage. And as you breathe out, there's a contraction, a tightening, a shortening in around your corset. Then the important thing today is to remember where those shoulders are. So I want you to just roll and drop is fine, but I want you to just squeeze your shoulder blades together and then press them down. Actively put some power into dropping them down so we can engage those lats. Now, what often happens is when we do that and squeeze here, we end up having this kind of gym look, because you see the boys in the gym like that. They've just engaged their lats and the arms go boom. So let's see if we can just lengthen out through the arms. Pilates is all about that elongation. Bring that chin back. So there's your power posture. Now let's start by a toe heel raise. So coming up on the balls of the feet, back onto the heels and up again. So it's quite quickly moving balls of feet into heels. When you balance back onto your heels, you'll notice your thighs squeeze and there's like a shifting around the knee joint.
Helen,
Yeah.
I can't find my I got the tennis ball thinking that's what you meant. I can't find my purple ball, so just letting
That's
you
okay.
know. I'll mute
That's
myself
okay.
again now.
That's completely fine. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is bend one knee and then the other and allow your hips to push out side to side. So it's a push up and down and drive your hip outwards to the sides. So you should get a stretch out the side of the hip. That's where your attention will take you first. But the alternating in the feet is good too. And I want you to think about, good job I've done a pedicure this week. I want you to think about any movement, it's big and second toe. So pushing out and big and second toe. Got it? Okay. Right. Lovely. Now, so all of this is complex, yet it's foundation stuff. So what I'd like you to do with the ball is just set you up lovely. Take the ball from the outside of your ankle and manipulate it. So we're just scooching it around. It's harder with the tennis ball. Scooch it round right the way back to the outside of the ankle. Now, it's a balance thing. You may feel stresses on the outside of the hip. It's also a proprioception thing. So looking forward, not downward, and feel. So we've grounded your feet, big toe, little toe, heel. So we know where we are. And we're just coming around. Now, what you might find is tension as you repeat that one side. You might feel it on the outside of the shin because there's a lot of balance required as you sweep around forward and back. And the whole foot, so the whole foot will be working, and we've got to think about all the bones in the foot. How many is it? 28. So lots of bones, and they're all working together to keep you steady on your feet. Okay, rest it out because your hip gets tired. Let's try this on the other side. Okay, so think about your balance. So your core muscles will naturally engage here. And you should feel that kick in quite quickly. The other thing I'm really conscious of is how different I am, my body is. And I know others will say the same, how their body is so different one side to the other. So we compensate when we do things equally at the same time, right and left at the same time. There's a lot of compensation that goes on. But when you do things one side only, it'll identify weaknesses and strengths. And it's something that we should encourage more often because it will pick up. That's how we start to become quite imbalanced, because we start to pick up those things that like, oh, that didn't work, or that hurt, or that's uncomfortable, or that feels amazing and I've got better. So again, the same rules. You might feel tight on the outside of the knee joint. You might feel tension inside of the hip. That's simply because you've got that really good foot positioning, big toe, little toe, heel. You're straight away thinking about engaging into the core. So it's going right the way up into your pelvic floor. This is when to really nail it, use that lateral thoracic breathing. So that tension on around your center. Okay, lovely. Okay, give that a rest for a second. Lovely. Take the ball out of the shot for a second. What I'd like us to do is just put some focus into the shoulders, okay? So let's do one at a time. One shoulder roll, other shoulder roll. So go big on one side, big on the other. It's not just the shoulder. Think about a little, even a dip of the knee, a squidge of the waistline, down and up and around. So not only is it a shoulder roll, you've got a little bit of rotation going on out of your spine from the hips, ribs, boom, boom. So we stretch here in your obliques. We've got a lift and a stretch through the front of the chest to the shoulder. And we're starting to get some squeezing going on between the shoulder blades. So for the next few, squeeze down your back. So like apply pressure and squeeze down the back, because this may free off any stickiness or tension that sits around the shoulder blades, okay? Other way. So we're going to go up and down. Up and down. It really doesn't feel very elegant, but this time we're releasing out of the low back, up and over, and giving you an upper back stretch at the same time. Now, in Pilates, actually in a lot of our sports and exercise, this is about stretching dynamically, stretching through movement rather than static. The next thing I want you to do is take your arms forward, cross one hand over the other. So you go like palms like that. Okay, shoulder height. Take the whole thing forward, create a C shape with the upper back, and then pull the whole thing backwards, lengthen and go tall. Squeeze your shoulder blades so you're almost like pulling yourself backwards, clenching your buttocks. Take it forward again, chin to chest. Pulling it back, taking it forward, back, last time. Remember which hand is on the top. Switch hands. All the things you learn. Like, it wouldn't have crossed my mind to go right or left when I was younger. Now I have to think, remember where you've just been, Helen. Same thing. Forward and back. See, feels different, right? Forward and back. So on the back, when you pull it back, 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 lift up the chest. Lift the girls. When you do that, oh, feels lush. Got it? Good stuff. and release. Okay, so just watch. I'm going to come in closer. In, out, in, out. So I'm diving in, palms are shining away, whoop, and out, and in, and bigger. The beautiful thing about this move, make it as big as you possibly can. Really imagine you're trying to get all the outside edges of the bubble that is around you. And those lovely stretches and finishes really get into the finest edges. All of this is upper back, middle back, stretching, chest, middle of the chest, out into the outside edges of the shoulders. Beautiful. Lovely. Gosh, she's on one today. Okay, right, so we're in now. You can't go anywhere now. So use your band. So what I'm going to do is have a look at your waistline, okay? And we're going to do some work where we're moving side to side, but with a resistance band. So let's just assume we're stood on the band on your right leg. Hold, look where I'm grabbing it. I'm going to knee height to grab it, to pull it up, to give me tension. Now, because all my load and tension's on one side, you're going to come out of balance. So what I'd like you to do is to be staggered stance and take all your attention to the left foot. Okay, now we lift up and take it down. Lift up. Now I need you to think about some little squeezes of your waistband. You might feel, I know that many of us struggle with back health. So you might feel a little bit of tweaking in the back. So think about long as we tip to one side and lower. Okay, so you might feel it in here. Slow it down, use your breath, think about what's going on. Okay, if you feel nothing, you might want to go deeper on your band to increase your resistance. But on where to take your attention to the outside foot is that we're not heavily loading, and you can do it with a balance if you want to, but I'd rather you just have a nice strong stance. Now, so far, this is back and waist. Now you're still holding with the band. What I'd like you to do is just gently pull up with your elbow. So it's a lovely tick-tock movement. And then not only are we pulling up, I want you to roll down. So you come in up to the sky, to the back of the room, back down to the floor. Up to the sky, back of the room. Up, back, down. Up, back, down. Okay, switch sides. Beautiful. Okay, nice and strong. So I've set myself up, got some good resistance on, starting position, knees off lock, feel nice and strong in my center. All my energy, I'm thinking about the foot that's not pulling. So right foot, take it down, let the band's resistance get shorter, stretch longer, more intense. So working on pulling in through the center, thinking about that engagement, thinking about pulling the belly into the backbone, lifting up through the pelvic floor. As my back is responding to this, I'm feeling like my range is becoming greater. You have these muscles that come out your bum crack across the top of your buttocks called erector spinae. Really beautiful muscles. They that really help to stabilize what's going on in the bone, the back of the pelvis. So it's really important that we're engaging them unilaterally, one side at a time. So it's a nice thing. Now let's add in that shape. Pull up, around, and down. Up, around, down. Now, of course, if all of this is terrible and it's giving you loads of aggro, don't use the band at all, but just follow that movement. We have a tendency when there's pain to avoid. It's human nature. So what we know is work towards that pain. So we know that's giving us a bit of jip, but you have to keep going because the pain might be just from a handful of muscle fibers, but then we're stopping all the other muscle fibers doing what they're supposed to do. So it's really important that we just keep that mobilization there as long as possible. Well done, team. Beautiful. Okay, so we're not done in standing and we're not done with shoulders either. So firstly, we're going to have a look at dumb waiter. Now, instead of a pull, because that will be the action if I put the band in your hands, we're going to start from behind. So take the band around your bra strap level, nip the band with your hands underneath your armpits at bra strap level, stretch out, set elbows. So you kind of whoop, boom. Now, your elbows should now stay in at your waist. This is, hang on, there you go. Relaxed, engaged, relaxed, engaged. Got it? Can you see that? So I'm drawing in my belly and my ribs. My elbows are nice and tight in the side of my arms. I'm opening up and closing. Breathing out as I press away. Now, the press movement stays on the horizon. The elbows stay close in at your ribs, please. So we're just moving in and out. And I always think this is hilarious because we are so different, all of us, in this movement. Keep the elbows or the upper inside arm glued to your rib cage when you open and close. Can you see there? I'm just doing one side at a time. So again, if that's too much to do both at the same time, feel free to do one side at a time. And we're keeping those elbows really glued in at the sides. Okay, give yourself a rest now because your grip will be quite tight in your hands. Okay, so from that, not done, we are going to extend the band, lengthen the neck, drop the shoulders, keep the hips still, rotate. So undertone, under pressure. We're rotating. The nice thing about this, so when it comes to shoulders, I want you to think about, I don't know if you can see that. I want you to squeeze your shoulder blade. So as you rotate, you're pulling back on shoulder blade 1. Rotate, pulling back on shoulder blade 2. So all the effort is around the shoulder blades. There's like teres major, I can't even remember them. There's 4 supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres major, teres minor. They all sit underneath your shoulder blades or around your shoulder blades, and your rhomboids are in the middle. When we did this opening and closing, it was the rhomboids that were doing the job. Okay, now we're doing rotations. It's the others, that supraspinatus, infraspinatus, they're all getting involved now. So it might be that shoulder pain is connected to one of the little ones, and we're just waking them up and getting them going. Okay, well done. Relax. Give yourself a moment. I'm sorry, I feel a bit sciencey today. I think it's because we're writing courses at the moment. So anatomy is in the forefront, and Pilates is my foundation. Right? I love how Pilates has had such tremendous impact on not only my life, but it comes into every movement program I've ever delivered. Okay, so now we're going to do some pull. Same movement, elbows stuck at ribs, turned off, turned on. So we're nice and engaged. Everything's being pulled in lovely. Okay. Open and close. Now, this band is really tough. So I thought it was just the normal pink band, but it's just pink in color, but in strength, it's a heavy band. We're opening and closing. Now, if you find your band is too tight, you can put a little bit slack on or increase the space between your hands. If you need to increase your tension, bring your hands closer together. So it can be quite small or a full open up and close. Now, when you were being pulled behind you, your range of movement was greater. Now that you're pulling in front of you, your range of movement is smaller. It's supposed to work that way, okay? So both of which are really lush exercises for really getting your shoulders looking beautiful. Neck long, shoulders down. Think about that elongation. Well done. Beautiful. You look great, and I can see you so clearly in the camera today. So I don't know, like setup slightly different in here, so it looks great. Okay, last thing, that is the shoulders, but actually it's the front of your body that's going to do the work. And you're probably going to help me, so soz. Only because we don't like this. So if I just demonstrate first, and then you can comment. Here's the thing. This is neutral, palm down, palm up, okay? A simple thing like changing the position of your hand changes which muscles doing the job, and we will do this together. So part one, just bunch the band into your hand and step on it, foot on the same side. So we are going into a lift and lower, turned off, turned on, lifted. So we're going to lift and lower. Now look, you don't have to go much higher than your ears, and this is a forward-facing movement. This will take its tone. Now, at the moment, I've asked you to bunch up so your palms down. Okay, we're going to change that now. Thumb up. Same thing, up and down. Now, it feels like you're here, but it will be migrating across the shoulder. Engage the muscles in the back. So allow your bingo wings to come into play. So if it helps, close your eyes to think about which muscle you're contracting. And you'll get fatigued. You don't have to go high. You don't have to go high. If you're starting to go high, you're not using the muscles that I want you to use. So really kind of, which is why I said you're not going to like it. Stay on the horizon. No higher than shoulder height. Okay, lovely. Now this time, palm up. So you're going that way. You're going up, out, center, down. So it's literally a 90-degree. Follow the line, out, in, down. Turned off, turned on. I don't think anyone likes that, to be fair. But what you might notice is that everything else is having a go. So this whole upper area. And it's really good. And, you know, especially shoulder work. And you know that because you're knocking it out there, I can see, Chris. It's magic stuff. Okay, outside. Right, so bunch up the band. So you've got a fist facing downwards. We lower and lift. Again, you know, we could make it fancy. We can add all sorts of things to it, but I like to strip it down just to remind ourselves where the focus needs to be. All of this is just so good for all of that quadrant. This all of it, just beautiful. Lovely. Neck long, shoulder down because it wants to lift, so we keep it down. Okay, switch, thumb up. Okay, It's hard, isn't it? Oh God. Right, again, no bend elbow, not this, straight arm, this, up and down. It's a small move. You won't like it, but remember, it's one of my favorite classic stories. Remember Ula? One day she's in my Pilates studio with her head in her hands. Ula, what's wrong? Are you all right? And she went, I hate Pilates. And she barked it at me. I went, you've been coming to me for 7 years. She never liked it, but it's good for you. And it's true. It's absolutely, it's so important that we do this. Then we do the 90-degree up, oh, palm up, out, in, down, up, out, in, down. All here. Oh, it's flush now. Oh yeah. Can you feel that? Can you feel those muscles everywhere just firing and going, hello, what's going on here today? Lovely. So often pain comes where there's an imbalance. It's just a bit rubbish when we're getting older and new things give us a bit of a hard time. Rest. Okay, let's get onto the floor and go into a full body stretch. Lying on your backs, big old stretch as long as you can. Have the bands nearby. I don't know, I just got issues with this mat. It just runs away all the time. Okay. So full body stretch first. Ah, lovely. Then bring, what I'd like you to do first is to bring your knees into your chest. We're going to make this active. So I want you to bend your elbows and pull the knees in as tight as you can. And then release, repeat. So I'm breathing out as I'm pulling the knees in. So I'm bending my elbows and pulling my knee. Oh, it always bloody gives me rib spinny. Okay, feet down, feet wide, both knees one side. Come back to center, both knees other side. So this is an active recovery. What I'm doing here is just prepping the areas that we're going to be targeting next. So this knee drop side to side enables a lengthening of the front of the thigh. It's releasing your hips before we really get into some good hip stuff. Oh. And I want you, as the knees drop, give your bum cheeks a squeeze as the knees land on one side. So bum squeeze. Oh, I wonder if I could switch cameras actually, so you can see better now that I'm on the floor. Oh yeah, who knew? Right, lovely. Lovely. Okay, so bring those feet together and see if you can just lift your hips a little bit, walk your heels closer to your bum, put your heels down and then put your bum down. Okay, now we're going to roll up. So tuck tail, roll the hips up, up, up to the top of the movement, down, down, down to the bottom of the movement. Rolling up, 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 down, 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 down. Good, good. Up, 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 up. Now, I think I'm lazy with this. So I realized that I need to squeeze more muscles in the bridge. So as we roll up, clench your bum and really push out of your heels. And on the way back down, squeeze your belly. So I like to think I'm at the bottom of my ribs. I squeeze those to bring myself down. On the way up, I'm squeezing through my bum and using my heels to drive me as high as I can. coming down, squeezing my belly. So I'm making it more active. I'm engaging more muscles to do that job. Okay, one more time, and then stay up there. Tiny, weeny, little presses. Tiny, weeny, little presses. Clench, clench. So this is all butt clench. Clench. Little higher, please. Little higher. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stop. Melt down. Draw knees to chest. Bend elbows and really pull those knees into your chest. Lovely. Good job. Now, instead of putting your feet on the floor, push your feet out into tabletop. Have a little check here. 90 degrees at the knee joint. 90 degrees at the hip joint. Hold it there. Breath work, pelvic floor work. Knees stay static. Use your breath. Engage your pelvic floor. Keep breathing. And when I'm talking about engaging, this is a great position to connect with your pelvic floor. Pull it in, pull it up, tighten. I feel quite comfortable doing this. Okay, let's lengthen one leg. Pull it back in, single leg stretch. Send the leg away, switching sides, pull it in. Nice and slow, the slower we are here, the stronger this becomes. Think about inside arch of the foot, the inside seam of the legs, the inside of the inner thigh going all the way up and inwards internally into the trunk. So focus there, that beautiful line of control. Now this time the knee will come in closer to the chest. So your starting position is closer in and then really stretch it out. Now I want you to, when I say stretch it out, lengthen, straighten off the knee, point the toe. Straighten off the knee, point the toe. Ooh, this is intense, isn't it? 3, thank God, to go. 2, last time. Hold on to your knees, bend those elbows to pull the knees right the way into the chest. Now we're going to separate the knees now, same thing. So you're still holding on, still got bent elbows, separate the knees and continue to pull in. Hang on. Oh, I'm teaching. Do you want to come in? Come and sit in? Yep. Okay, go over there. Excuse me, guys. Lovely, thank you. He's brought my phone in, my little rescuer. God bless him. Okay, so from here, so we had our knees into chest, we're just releasing off the back. We're going to come over onto our side. So turn to face me. Bent knee. Okay, knees stacked. So when you have a little look down towards your knees, you'll know if your hips stacked or not. So, and how I'm telling you this is, when you look down, one knee is further back than the other. So we need to make sure those knees are absolutely on top of each other. Rest your head in your arm. So couch it there. Then we lift the whole of the leg. Okay, so you got bent knee. Okay, so it's a tiny little press. Okay, you got this? Tiny weeny little presses, a small movement. Little tiny movement. Are we good? Relaxing the ankle, the heel and the knee, the same height. Tiny weeny little presses. Tiny weeny little presses. Tiny weeny little presses. I only say that because Annie's in the house. I'm pretty sure I don't say that phrase unless Annie's around, because she always used to tease me on that. Hold it there, hold. Okay, now we're going to open and close. So we're going to externally rotate the hip as if you're opening the gate, but be mindful you're not rolling onto your bum cheek. Come back down and then look, can you see the change? Knee to knee, heel to sky. Reset, open, close, rotate. Open, close, rotate. Open, close, rotate, stay. Press the heel towards the ceiling, the knee towards the knee. You have to keep that knee flexed. So really get that knee pointing down towards the ground. 8 more, 7, 6, and 5, 4, and 3. Well done. 2, last time. Okay, hold. Straighten out the leg, float it down the midline of your yoga mat and hold. Okay, now we circle. 8, 7, brace abs, hips stacked. Switch direction, here we go. 8, 7, 6. Anyone feeling that? Just check in. 4, 3, 2, hold. Take the whole leg back a couple of inches. So your starting position is just further back. Now we circle again. 8, 7, check alignment, brace, breathe. Switch direction. 8, 7, 6, 5. We're not done. Come forward. Thighs align. Oh, God, just holding there is killing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Switch. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Oh man, so it's about that, guys. Okay, so before we go on to the other side, what I'd like you to do is to roll onto your, come onto all fours, toes together, knees wide, just sit back in child's pose for a moment, just so you can release out of that hip. This also, notice, again, work on the active stretch. Put your hands away and really press your bottom down onto your heels. Okay. Flip over. Other side before I forget. God, I've changed. Knee stacked. So think about that alignment. Lifting up through the waistline, the knees remain this absolutely on top of each other, not sliding back, because we come out of form, then we lose our magic. So we lift the whole of the leg. Okay, tiny weeny presses, so up and down. So this for me is my vulnerable side. This side always gives me pain, doesn't feel as easy. But I can't avoid it. Still got to drive my energy into it and keep the balance. Okay. Now we open and close. So we open the gate, close, knee to knee. Center, open, close, knee to knee. So this is literally working through the planes of movement. So the hip joint moves in the same fashion as your shoulder joint. There's a ball and socket joint. So we have to mobilize it in all directions, but then we also have to add strength to it. from all directions. Lovely. Last time, hold it there. Really making sure the knee points to the ground and the knee remains flexed. We're pressing the heel to the sky. So we press, press. 8, 7, ow, 6, 5. Oh, hello. Don't cry, Annie, don't cry. Woo! Hold it there. Take the leg long and down the midline of your yoga mat where we circle for 8. Belly braced, hips stacked. Drive through the heel. Switch direction. Now this should be a circle, not a blob. It's a lovely circle you're drawing. Smart in. Okay, stop, hold, don't rest. Take the leg back slightly further. Same thing, we circle 8. And it shouldn't feel like a weight of an elephant's on your ankle, but it will. Ooh, these are those smaller bum muscles that we talked about earlier on. Okay, let's switch direction. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, stop. No, come forward. Oh man, hold it. You've got this. So we've got 16 to go, 8 in one direction. Oh, that's just intense. Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you on this. Switch direction. 8, 7, crying. 4, 3, 2. That was just horrible. There was nothing pleasant in that experience for me at all. Oh, right, again, roll over onto your front. Take your feet together, take your knees wide, sit up. Okay, we're going to bring our elbows down first, so the knees are wide. Use your upper body to push your bottom onto your heels. Okay, right hand forward, left hand forward, right hand under. So we're going to do a stretch here and look under your armpit. To make it bigger, that stretched front arm or forward arm, then its elbow, and push the hand into the ground. So that will increase the stretch. If you want to, you can look towards the ceiling if you can. Okay, and release. Other side. So got a long stretched arm in front of us. Wrap, twist, elbow down. To make it more intense, use the pressure of the front and the forward arm, then the elbow push the ground away, rotate, look up towards the sky. Whew. So it's all interlinking. So hopefully, again, we're releasing around the ribs, releasing around those shoulder blades. Good stuff. Good job. Okay, so we're coming on to all fours. Stretch through the fingers, and we're going to draw some circles. One way, then the other. Lovely. So that's the first bit. So we're getting some bone loading going on in the wrist. Okay, the next bit, curl toes under heels. Lengthen through your arms, brace your abdominals, and we lift the knees off the ground. 10, 9, 8, 7. Knees down, flatten off the feet. Sit back just for a moment, active recovery. This time we're going to just create us more of a lift, curl toes, reset, float knees. Now we're going to go up and down through the knees. So same muscle groups, but instead of static, which can have an impact on your breath, we go dynamic and we're just moving up and down just slightly. You'll probably be able to do more. So we're counting down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, knees down. Give yourself a minute. Well done, beautiful people. How are we feeling? Can I have a thumbs up? I haven't killed you. We're doing all right. I'm not sure that was a thumb. I think that was a finger. Right, okay. So whilst we're wrist bone loading, got to bring this in. You know, for the last few weeks, I've been talking about this. I've been doing plank, side plank, more to do with losing our confidence. Forget about the strength bit. So what I'd like us to start with is come out of that floating box up into downward dog. Make yourself comfortable there. Because I think this has always been a bit of a going home exercise for us. We were always comfortable with the downward dog. Come back down into that floating knee. Push back up into down dog. Floating knee. So again, this is some strength work into the shoulders. So you keep going, bent knee into down dog. So the core is working right the way through this. We're building strength. What's important here is the wrist, the forearms, the strengthening here, that connection. And our brain's going, I've got this, I own it, I nail this. I feel confident with this. Well done. Okay, sit back, just roll over and roll around your wrist just for a moment. I'll just move that camera a second. Okay, and then finally, as we come towards the end of the session, we're looking at plank, side plank. Okay, let me just switch cameras a minute. Just bring my cameraman in on this. Okay, so if you haven't done this for a while and you're not sure if you can do it, this is the build up. So it's about looking at your hands, plank, switching one arm, side plank, plank, other side, side plank. Now, I've noticed, like you keep going, this for me, I'm nervous because I hate vertigo, and I know this one triggers or used to trigger vertigo for me, so I avoided it. But actually, we've got to sort of head into the storm a little bit with the things that we avoid. So give yourself a moment, because I'd like you to see if we can progress it into a full plank if you feel up for it. So the important thing is just locking in at your glutes. So you've got your plank, then there's a switch, plank, switch, plank, switch. Keep going. Notice any changes. So how does one side feel against the other? Remember, the knees down is the variation. Where you're looking is how you adapt. There's a lot of brain talking to your body right now, and the brain is often going, don't like it, feels unsafe. So we got to turn down that noise and own this. A ridiculous amount of whole body benefits here. This is strength training at its purest. You're really great gaining bone strength here too, particularly around the wrist joint and the shoulder. Well done. And release, relax. Good for you. Okay, from kneeling, stride your right leg forward, lean into that. So we're just sinking the whole body forward, enabling a stretch out of that left hip flexor. Now what we can do here today, right leg forward, is just take the arms around the right side of the body and start to look away. So you've got the twist that's coming out of the hip flexor and we're rotating through the spine. Make it bigger, right arm, send it into the direction you're looking at. Release that arm. Okay, so now we push back off that front leg. And then if you want to, sit back. So that's quite a challenge. Your knees don't, some of our knees don't like this. Not going to be here long. This helps you just stretch out through the quads. Come up, turn 90 degrees, stretch off the leg. Now, I find I can go a little deeper here. So I'm sitting on my heel and enjoying that stretch through the right thigh. Sometimes coming up onto your hands is nice too, or your elbows, or stretching into the corner. Find the thing that works for you. Note, relax your knee, relax your kneecap. Enjoy that stretch. Well done. We're going to switch the other side. Simple transition there, girls. Left foot forward, sink into it. Just felt like we needed to do a real total body workout today with a lovely whole body stretch. Okay, twist the body. So we come onto the left side. So we keep that rotation on. Looking in the far corner, let your arm point in the same direction just to increase that stretch. Come back. Stretch out your front leg, square off your hips, sit back if you can. So again, you kind of go, oh, I'm not sure if I can do that. Oh, I can do that. Bum onto heel. Now we turn 90 degrees to me. Straightening off through your left leg. Bum onto heel, option 1. Come forward, option 2. Rotate into the opposite corner. But just enjoy that stretch through the inner thigh from the knee. Have a little play with it. Find your sweet spot. Well done. Okay. Sit back. Now, you can either leave your bottom on your heels or you can sit on your bum. Roll your shoulders. I'd like us to just finish with some stretches and some slow breath work. Take your arms across onto the opposite shoulders. Pull your fingers around your back. So you're really wrapping into a big hug there. Little rock. Chin to chest. Collapse. So we're rolling down through the back a little. Come up. Now swap arms. So the top arm goes to the bottom. Again, we have to think about that a little bit. Well done. Relax your shoulders. We're just going to ground ourselves again. Finish with some nice box breathing. So we're going to think about inhaling. The breath is going to change. Let me just clarify that a minute. We did lateral thoracic breathing right the way through the session. Now we're going to change the breathing. And I want you to think about the breath in through the nose to really focus on some nostril breathing. And breathing through the nostrils is quite a challenge for many. So let's focus on that bit and see if we can breathe in to a pause and slowly breathe out through the back of the throat and nostrils. So not breathing through the mouth at all here. I'm reading a book about breathing at the moment. It's really fascinating. Notice there's almost an audible sound to your breath out here as you breathe in and out through the nose. and feel that breath push into the boat. So we're oxygenizing through the breath. And then we're taking away debris on the breath out. Last time. And then for the next 30 seconds, just sit in your own calm. Stay in this moment. Okay. Well done. Stretch out your body. Take your hands behind your back. Clasp your hands if you can. Lift the chest. Really lengthen those arms. Lift your chin. Come out of that with your arms. Come up, up, up. High V. Clasp hands at the top. Press your palms towards the sky. Release your hands to your sides and give yourselves whoop, whoop, a round of applause.